There we go. So Bowser does not completely agree with Starlow's plan at all. Starlow's like, we should go back to Peach's castle. And Bowser's like, no, I need to go back to my castle right now. So that's where we're going to head first. And our first enemies here, really fat Goombas. You want to guess their name, actually? Because they do have a name. I trip on one because I messed up the timing on it. Evil Pop-Tart?
I don't know their names.
Okay. Choombas.
Choomba. It's not what I would have guessed.
Because, you know, they chew on a lollipop? Choomba.
What am I thinking about this? Murder, pushing people in the streets, running them over with vehicles, that sort of thing.
For a fun fact, when I was doing some research, it mentions that the Choomba's lollipop looks a lot like a jelly pop in Paper Mario, and someone must be overthinking this way too darn much to make an observation like that, if you ask me. Either those Goombas are really, really fat from eating lollipops, or they as well have the blorbs, which would mean that the blorbs infect both Toads and, in this case, Goombas. There we go. But something that I did want to point out is now we are fighting around with Bowser, and it's like you see the small enemies, we literally can just run right into them and get a coin out of them, and it's like, yes! And even though our only attack is a punch at the moment, punching in this game is so damn satisfying. Especially when they nail the excellent, because they fly back, and it's very... You have to play the game to experience it, but it's just like, yes! I just knocked you out! Punch! You may be familiar with previous Mario and Luigi games. If you're watching this one, you know the general distribution is that Mario tends to have speed and attack power, and Luigi tends to have defense and HP. Bowser is all about HP and POW, which if you ask me, those are kind of the most important stats. Look at that distribution there. +5 to HP, +4 to POW automatically. And I'm going to add a bit more to POW too.
Well, obviously the game's setting you up for Bowser can only kill large enemies anyway, so they're probably going to deal massive amounts of damage. So, come on, it only makes sense.
Hey, you are actually right about that, Evil Pop-Tart.
It doesn't take too much of a genius to figure that out, but obviously you can tell that the game's setting you up for two different styles of play. Rightfully, it should.
There we go. So we ran into like a mysterious voice in our mind. I might as well just kind of explain this actually, is that we actually have a really big game world at the moment, and Bowser's really impatient about this mysterious voice. What he's going to be describing here is that we're going to be running into points which we can use to teleport across the world. Much like a wind flute from a Zelda game, or I guess warp pipes in a traditional Mario game. Warp pipes have a different function in this game actually, but we'll be getting to that when it's appropriate. Otherwise, we run into warp points called Chakroads. I didn't come up with that name. I have no clue why in the world you'd call it a Chakroad. Chakroad, but that's what they're called. But someone figures out how to telepathically communicate with Bowser, and by running into a Chakroad like that, we are given a map of the entire world that this game exists in, and we can teleport between places with our minds. It's like someone figured out how to dial Bowser's mind on the telepathy phone. That'd be a scary thing if it really existed, was a telepathy phone. Dial in a number, talk to someone mysteriously somewhere else, be like, "Ooh, I'm speaking in your mind." They'd probably think it's a ghost, holy cow. But this guy doesn't have a lot of confidence in Bowser at all, talking to him in his mind. He's like, "You are unenlightened."
Looking at that thing, this looks like that thing from Wind Waker that you smash, and it has a whole bunch of items that come out. Just want to smash it.
Oh gosh, smash the Chakroads, but then you can use them to travel with your mind. But the game also explains that you can't just teleport across the entire world now, because you have to have memory of a place first. So we can't just teleport to Bowser's Castle at the moment, which is a good thing, because the enemies in Bowser's Castle are a much higher level than the ones here, and we would die easily to them. But sometimes I wish something like Chakroads existed in real life, where it's like if I strongly remembered a place, I could just teleport to it. Because if you could just imagine a place you went on vacation in, and it was a really beautiful place, and it's like, I kind of want to visit this place again in the future. I'm going to strongly remember this place. And then years in the future, I'm going to go visit that place, teleport there. Cool, I'm done here, teleport back home. been pretty awesome in retrospect, or thinking about it that perspective. But there we go. But as you can see, that is the world map currently on the top screen and the bottom screen. I'm just looking around this place's map. There's a lot of areas we can't reach yet because we don't have abilities yet. So that's fun, but this world is not quite the world you remember in Paper Mario. Unfortunately, the Mushroom Kingdom has gone under some form of recombobulation, so...
As it does every, month or two. Really, name one game where the Mushroom Kingdom looks the same.
This is the one Mario and Luigi game that actually takes place in the Mushroom Kingdom proper, and the game sets up the focus between Peach's castle and Bowser's castle and the places in between those two castles. So that's kind of the focus here, instead of in the case of Paper Mario, which I mentioned there, which also takes place in the Mushroom Kingdom, kind of having an emphasis around Toad Town being the centralized location of the game and all the surrounding areas. But we have now entered a new area. It is a beach. Do you want to guess the name of the beach?
Castle Beach?
Nope, it's Plaque Beach.
How many people read that as Plague Beach? Actually, no, it's not that kind of plaque. I wanted, the plaque that, you put on the wall.
Not quite that. You want to know why it's called Plaque Beach? It's because the beach is full of cavities. Once I get back into the game after saving there, because I just saved pretty quickly because I had to quick do something, as you can see, there's a whole bunch of teeth just hanging around over here, and they have holes in them. Black, dirty, yucky holes. What? Okay. Is this the beach that dentists take people to tell them to brush their teeth?
Let's go through a walk on... This is what your teeth will look like if you don't brush, floss, and use Listerine.
Alright, but... we're going to learn something that we're going to occasionally see in the game, is sometimes we have to ride a raft like this, and then we have to punch our way all across over the place. This time it's really, really basic, actually. There's just a couple of walls to punch off of, and the game is pretty generous. If we mess up, we're kind of stuck in a really simple circle. Hooray!
So basically Zelda style. This reminds me of
Oh, yeah.
Oracle of Seasons and Ages.
Kind of does, doesn't it? There we go, heading on over to there. Unfortunately, there are areas which we can't reach because we can't jump, and as an FYI for future reference, Bowser actually really never learns how to jump, but he does learn a couple of platforming techniques. None of them are jumping. Pound! That is so satisfying! Okay, so this guy that looks like a Pokey made out of teeth, what would you guess his name is?
Pokey made out of teeth?
Teethy.
Not a... Toothy.
Oh.
You were close, Higsby. His name is Toothy. He's a Pokey made out of teeth, and he runs up to you and tries to just kind of run into you. He also has another text I'll show in a future battle, actually. But first, we're gonna run into this guy. He decides to call Bowser Monsieur Turtlebits. And I'm not gonna try to say any other of his dialogue because holy cow, is that a heavy accent. So this is Broque Monsieur, the dude with the extremely heavy French accent.
Just what this game needed.
Now, because I was curious, I decided to look online and see what the translations of this game did with this guy, because, well, he is speaking in a heavy French accent. So, the European French version of the game has the guy speaking in broken French, kind of like Fawful, but the American French version, like what would be released in Canada, has him speaking in European French. I don't know why, but okay. And what's really, really funny is the Japanese version has him speaking in broken language. So it's like this game has a heavy French accent, but other games it's just like he does something else. Curiously, the German version of the game has him speaking really formally instead of with a heavy accent or broken language. Basically what I'm trying to say is translators really approach this game in different means. And since we're playing the English version, he's like, I'm really French. I'm Monsieur Broque. He's actually a completely new species called a Broque. Basically a coin block personified.
Anything in the Mario universe can be alive. It's ridiculous.
I mean, think about it, that's kind of scary. Blocks are living creatures now. Okay.
Well, I mean, the hills have eyes. Why not blocks? I mean, heck, we've even seen, turn blocks have eyes as Mario spin jumps through them and murders them.
There we go. But he needs help because the island is kind of just stranded like 10 meters off the coast. So we need to pull his island 10 meters across. Wow. But this introduces, here we go, a minigame we have to play in Bowser's Arm Center, which is actually located in the arm. Holy cow, this is actually kind of anatomically correct now. Look at this. But we went to the arm because whenever, like, sometimes we're going to run into a situation where Bowser gets himself to a stupid situation or needs to use his arm for something, and that prompts this minigame here, which happens a couple of times in the game, actually. Probably more than any of the other minigames, where we now have to kind of power up his arm by bouncing energy balls from this gun here. Okay. Now, if we mess up the minigame, we do lose coins, so there really isn't a health bar to these minigames. It's just play them for until you, in this case, power up his arm all the way, and if you mess up, you lose coins.
You lost 1 coin from that, despite the fact that, like, 1,000,000 flew out. Do you, like, have to give up if you get to 0? Or, I mean, you've probably never got to 0, so you might not be able to answer that.
I've never gotten to 0, so I have no clue if you just kind of sit around or what exactly happens in that situation. So, yeah, we threw a gun in Bowser's arm with an energy thing. We managed to power him up, and he pulled that island that whole 10 meters. I have to really commemorate that rope for being able to tug an entire island and not snap. To me, the impressive part wasn't necessarily Bowser's strength, because we know he's strong. The impressive part was that rope didn't snap. But anyway, we did that because this guy promised us a new block to use in battle. It is the vacuum block. Here we go. Yes, let's try this out. Whoomp. I turned my head upside down and now I'm evil. There we go. Let's go ahead and learn how this vacuum block works, because this guy actually, after he gets past his tutorial parts, is a little tiny boss battle, believe it or not. Not any threatening boss battle, to be fair, but let's try this out. Hit up the vacuum block, mash the X button, and you can inhale enemies. So that allows you to have Bowser, Mario, and Luigi all kind of work together in a battle, actually. That's the purpose of the vacuum block. Now this guy is really interesting. He's like, I'm just going to go outside now. And he crawls up like some wall, some intestine inside of Bowser, and just comes out. Okay, I didn't know it was that easy. But okay. Okay. That just begs a really uncomfortable discussion of how everyone else is going to eventually come out, because they're either going to regurgitate or defecate, and I'll just leave it at that. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that.
Digestive systems don't work the same way in the Mario universe. It's just, I don't know.
We got another thing here called a retry clock. Now, this isn't really well explained by the game, actually, partially because this dude speaks in such a heavy accent, but the retry clock, you collected them throughout the game. If you die in a battle, you're given the option, do you want the game over, or do you want to use a retry clock to start over? And if you select use the retry clock to start over, you don't get the game over and get sent to the last save point. You get sent back to the start of a battle to where you can try again. This game's rather generous with the save points to where retry clocks kind of feel redundant, but at the same time it's a convenient thing because you could just start a battle over instead of going through all the dialogue again or whatever.
It's kind of a life shroom, kind of?
Except you do start the battle over again.
With full health, or the health that you had when you entered it?
I believe it's the health you had when you entered it, actually. I could be wrong about that because I've actually never used a retry clock. There's only one battle in this game that really gave me a lot of difficulty, and we'll get to it when we get to it. And when I lost that battle a couple of times, I actually didn't use the retry clock, so I'm like, I just took the game over, actually. There really isn't any reward for beating the game without game overing, though. 'Cause if there was actually a reward for beating the game without game overing, the retry clock would make a lot more sense, I'll tell you that. But right now we're going to be fighting this guy as before. Like, look at his health bar. He doesn't have that much health at the moment, and he pretty much only attacks us by like rushing into us with mega mushrooms. Interesting to note there is that this battle doesn't get you like any coins for just beating the battle, but you do get coins for punching this guy in the head a whole bunch. So if you want to grind coins, you could theoretically like botch all your punches here like this and not get the accident, just kind of trip on him, and then just keep punching him for coins for until the battle is over. Theoretically, but I kind of want to get out of this battle sooner than later, actually. Smack, 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 smack. You can also vacuum him up, but that literally does nothing. He crawls right out immediately. So there's really not much point to it. And there we go. A couple of more level ups to go around to everyone. Well, there we go. It's unfortunate that Bowser's not leveling up this level up screen, though. We will be seeing a Bowser level up screen because the screens actually look ever so slightly different. If you're paying attention to the last level up screen, you can see Lakitu comes in and gives you points, but when Bowser levels up, it's a Boo. You could even say that Boo is Fishing Boo.
Oh.
But he doesn't look like Fishing Boo.
It's officially the worst game now. Too much Fishing Boo.
And off he goes, and off we go. Time to explore more of the beach of not brushing your teeth. There we go, and we're gonna go ahead and fight a couple more enemies. Now that we have the vacuum ability, we can vacuum up things from enemies very commonly. And in this case, the enemies we fought so far, we can vacuum up that lollipop, get healed. And we can also vacuum up teeth, and that gives us status upgrades and leaves toothies, or toothies, completely vulnerable to attack. But there's Fishing Boo. There we go. I gotta say, that guy had a lot of blocks on him. Do you become a more powerful person if you gather and collect blocks for battle? Just imagine that ring. That ring's currently 4 blocks big right now for Bowser. Just imagine if he was a block collector and had like 50 blocks to choose from. Look at all the moves he can do in battle.
Trying to think of some significant Mario blocks, like throughout the series, that you could use in the battle.
Theoretically, if you took Sticker Star, but removed stickers, replaced them with blocks in a ring. Oh my gosh, okay. There we go. We would basically have a Mario Metroid style game where you collect different attacks and power-ups throughout the entire game, which you can use in battle. Holy cow. Okay, basically take Sticker Star but remove the limited quantity of sticker issue, and you actually have a decent game. Agreed? Mm-hmm. Alright. But here we go. Since it's already been showed off here, but Toothies, when they're upside down, they can kind of try to toss a blue virus at you to try to hurt you, but only blue viruses. I don't know why they only have blue viruses, but okay. I mean, if he's holding onto a supply of blue viruses, all of them would have to stay separated, or else they would automatically annihilate each other. But I also consider it funny, we're fighting teeth, and we're also fighting a fatty Goomba that eats lollipops. So we're fighting an enemy that takes terrible care of their teeth, and another enemy that's quite literally teeth. There we go. I'd have to imagine with this beach, it's a great example for a dentist to say, hey, don't do this to your teeth. It's also a place where there's probably signs all over the place, although we're not finding them, that says, do not swim in the water. It's filled with cavities.
Do not swim in the water. It's filled with teeth.
And that too. And
soda. Liquid soda.
Compared to some of the things in our waterways and our lakes and oceans, teeth might not be that bad.
Okay, well then
yeah,
soda
toxic
then.
waste.
Should just call this Soda Decay Beach, because it's like full of soda. So every time you save, this automatically goes back to the home menu?
No, it doesn't. That was me
Oh,
resetting
okay.
the game, actually. This is what it normally does. You save complete, and you can do that. If you press save and quit, though, you do go back to the home menu. I was actually resetting the console, though. But anyway, that should about do it. Next time on Let's Play Mario & Luigi, Bowser's Inside Story, we're going to go up due north and figure out what shenanigans the Plaque Beach has for us. What do you think decays teeth more than anything else? Well, your answer might come next time, actually.
May I have some candy?
How bad are Pop-Tarts for your teeth, Evil Pop-Tart? You should know.
They can be bad. They could stick, I mean, with the filling, but candy, soda, lollipops is normally the main cause of that, so...
Mm-hmm.
Duly noted. For your health advisory, everyone, brush your teeth. This has been Milesluigi.
And this has been the Flossing Evil Pop-Tart.
And Higsby? I mean, some guy.
Mouth rinse. Mouth rinse, some guy.
Do you use mouth rinse, some guy?
Yes, I do, actually.
See you next time.